Eliza Bournet from Bookpage, and I'm here at RWA in New York talking to Andrea Kane about her new book, The Girl Who Disappeared Twice, which is already a New York Times bestseller. I think I saw on your blog it took about 5 days, so yes. Readers have already shown with sales that it's a good one. So thank you so much, Andrea, for talking to me. First, could you just tell Bookpage readers what the book is about? This is a suspense.
Yes, it's actually the first in a series because it involves a kidnapping of a kindergartner, and her parents are both their mother is a judge and her father is a defense attorney, and they have hired, aside from all of the law enforcement that is helping, the FBI, the police, everyone, they hire a private investigative firm called Forensic Instincts, which is a bit of a maverick investigative firm. They operate within the boundaries of the law and sometimes on the boundaries and sometimes a little outside the boundaries. So their job is to, at any cost and at any way they have to, find Chrissy.
Well, could you tell me a little bit about the backgrounds of these operatives? How did you choose your characters for this group?
I'm fascinated by psychological thriller, which is really what I write, and the behavioral analysis unit at the FBI, that's really my favorite. So the way the human mind works, whether it's the protagonist or the antagonist, is my favorite. And so starting with Casey, who's the head of the group, she's basically an expert on human behavior and being able to interpret people's subtle mannerisms and voice isms so that she can pretty much interpret what's going on. And then from there, it was a sort of a complex group of different people, because I would sort of a strategic techno genius, and then someone who was a former Navy SEAL, and he was with the BAU, and I have also a human set evidence dog who he's a bloodhound and he's awesome. So his name's Hero. So there are other members who become other members at later on in the book, but that's how it evolved. They're all just strategic geniuses in one form or another.
Well, you have written about a lot of different things in your career. You've written about an art heist. You've written about the world of horse show jumping, murders, kidnappings. What is your research process? I mean, you must have to. How do you get the knowledge
endlessly
to write the books?
It takes months. And that's why I would say I would write a book a year instead of 3 a year, because I'm a meticulous researcher. So, like for this particular book, I spent a lot of time talking to the FBI, talking to the different units the Crimes Against Children unit. I spent a lot of time with the Canine unit, which is very cool. And so I will go to specific, with as far as the horse show jumping, I went to specific people who were in that industry. And when I get referrals, it's usually, it's a word of mouth thing. So if you talk to one person, they'll refer you to someone else who's an expert. And I'll visit the places a lot and actually watch it hands-on. So nothing beats hands-on. No matter how much you research on the internet or talk to people, actually going and seeing it. And sometimes when I learned how to shoot, for example, doing it. Wow. It's great.
Well, was there anything really surprising that you learned that you thought, I have to incorporate this into my book?
I learned so many. They surprise me constantly, but I would say that one of the most surprising things that I learned is how regular they are as human beings and how exceptional they are as human beings. The FBI they're some of the most brilliant and diverse people I've ever met, and yet they're humble, and they think what I do is awesome, and I can't understand that because I think what they do is awesome by protecting the world. So I would say that was probably the most humbling and the most surprising experience.
Well, I wanted to talk about Hero, the FBI rescue dog in the book. I'm a dog lover, and I wondered if you are too.
I adore them.
Why did you decide to include a rescue dog in your book?
Because I have dogs in just about every book, but this particular one, I thought, wouldn't this be cool if he were actually part of the team, and not just somebody's dog, but actually an active member of the team and actually help in the search for Chrissy. So I spoke to them, and they have a huge program down there where they actually train them, and they have incredible distances that they can smell out, so to speak, the scent of who they get scent pads and they learn the odor, and they can do that. So I just thought he was awesome, and this was right after Freddie, so I actually dedicated it to him. He was the FBI dog who unfortunately was killed in combat. I was so awed that he threw himself in front of a bullet while they were actually in a battle with a terrorist, and he threw himself in front of a bullet rather than have his handler hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a beautiful ceremony for him. They actually honor them just like they do they're human people down there.
Well, I was wondering, like I said, The Girl Who Disappeared Twice is already a New York Times bestseller, and as you write more books and continue to have success, is it just as exciting now when your book shows up on the list?
Every single time. It's like Christmas. It's that day is jumping up and down day, opening up presents day, getting flowers from people day. It's just a wonderful feeling. You sort of want to bottle it because as an adult you don't get too many of those days.
And here at RWA, it seems so clear how, well, first how supportive this community of writers is, and two, how much readers of these genres want to interact with these authors. And I know that you blog. What do you, how has this changed in your career? Or do you find yourself communicating with readers more often
Absolutely.
now? And
between the blog and Twitter and Facebook, all of which I'm on, I spend a lot of time interacting, and I get the feedback is much more instantaneous. So I try to get on at least once a day and see what's happening and talk to my readers if I can and answer a couple of questions. It's definitely changed the interaction, because I agree with you. They want to know who you are as a human being and feel as though there's a connection. And I do too. I love my readers, and I want to know where their heads are as well. So when they give me, the accolades I got from them when I hit the list were just as important.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Andrea, for talking to me. And our readers should, if they haven't already, check out The Girl Who Disappeared Twice. So.
And they certainly can find anything they need on my website, which is www.andreakane.com.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.